Hi guys, hello and welcome. I'm back today with the Tim Holtz flavoured file folder, and I've been away from it for far too long and I've really missed it. I love this project, I'm loving doing it. So there's our cover, and so far we've got the yellow page done, which is really nice, and the green page done, and then you will have spotted I've done the orange page. This is a kind of more simpler page really, and I've thought of loads of things I could put behind it, on it, but every time I put them on, it just detracts from the simplicity of the page. I really like it. So let's start. So as you know, I'm doing this one as a kind of, I don't know, prep page I guess, and then I've got this folder, which is the one that I'm putting the second time I've done them, if you like, into. So that's the yellow page on there, the green page on there. So we're on to the next page, which I've already taken out and I've covered with our paper, because that's quite a long and tedious process. So I've saved us the bother of watching that. It's this paper that I've used, the one with the big advert on the back. So the next thing to do is to make the two little straps that come along, and for this I'm using this paper, which has got the sort of floral sketches on the back, and I just want to cut crossways, so this is 6 inches across here, and I want to cut it at 3 inches, I think. Let me just measure it on the other one so I'll get the right. It's just over 1.25 inches. So 2.5, 2 3/4, maybe something like that. 2 3/4. Let's do that. I love my little Timmy trimmer. It's so convenient, it just lives on my desk. You pick it up easily, put it to the side. Perfect. So now I just want to fold this in half. So I'm just bringing it down to meet the other corner. Just taking care to get it exactly in half. There we go. Whoops, that wasn't quite right. Of course, now it's folded, it takes a bit more persuading. There we go. That's fine. And crease that in with your bone folder. Lovely. Perfect, I think. Okay, let's glue that down. So just want to glue this in half. All of these Tim Holtz papers in this backdrop set 5 are just, they're all just glorious. And indeed I do have a plan involving those. Do you remember when I made the using every last scrap of an Edith Holden book? Using all the pages in the Edith Holden book to turn into ephemera? Well, I'm quite liking the idea of using this backdrops number 5 and using every last little bit to make ephemera out of. So once I get through some of the projects I've got on the go at the moment, which seem to be many and varied, that's what I'm going to be doing next. Now then, let's just measure these so I can see where to cut them off. They are 2.5. So out comes the little trimmer again. 2.5. I think that's still wet actually, which is why it's not cutting perfectly, but hopefully it'll be okay. Near enough. Should have left it to dry, but then again, I'm not that good with patience. So with my corner rounder, just with the 1/4 inch one, I just want to round 2 of the ends, like that. And this one the same thing. There we go. This corner rounder is getting a bit not great. It leaves little tags on it which annoy me somewhat. So let's just cut those little bits off that it's left. And on there we're all right. Okay. So next thing to do is ink around it. Work out which... That's the folded side, so I'm going to make that the top. That's the folded side, so I'm going to make that the top. So let's just ink around that. I'm using Archival Ground Espresso, not for any specific reason, it's just what's on the table. It's a relatively quick page, this. Not the quickest in the world, but then again, nothing I do seems to be. Seem to like protracted pages and stuff. No, so I'm looking forward to that project. I need to tell you about Peanut, actually. Peanut came to us for kind of a one-day trial, see how we got on with him. And we were expecting to get on very well with him because he's a gorgeous boy. But, and this makes us feel very, very old and real, honestly, failures. But we couldn't deal with him. He was too much for us. He was too strong. The cat absolutely did not get on with him at all. And so at the end of the day we had to take him back, which we were really disappointed. You know, we'd bought a lot of things in anticipation of him coming. Not that that matters financially, but it's just, you know, we were really looking forward to having him. But it turned out he was only 1.5 years old, which means he was just a pup. And he was absolutely ginormous. He could go into the kitchen and reach every single part of the countertops. So, I mean, we'd put things away from the top of the countertops, but we didn't realise that he would be just so big. Not that that put us off. It didn't put us off at all. It was his strength. So I'm just going to stamp these. And I think he thought we were tug-of-war things. So he'd just come along, grab, you know, my cardigan or whatever. Oh, have I not inked that? Something would tell me I haven't actually inked that. Which is not good. So sadly, at the end of the day, well, early next morning, we took him back. And I never expected to be telling you this. You know, I was really looking forward to giving you pup dates, but no, we felt terrible taking him back. He seemed quite happy about it. Seems quite happy about everything. He's such a lovely boy. Really lovely boy. But that's perfect there. Bit too much for us to handle at our advanced stage of life. Certainly did make us feel old. So that's the sad tale of Peanut. There we go. It hasn't come out there. I'm not overly fussed by that. I quite like it, that it looks a bit worn. So that's great. that's that. Now then, the next thing to do is put a hole in each end of these, and so I want them like that. I'm going to do both holes together. I'm getting brave, and that measures, what does it measure? A touch over 1.25 inches. So let's get that squared up in the middle there. Make a pencil mark as usual, in a little bit because I want to use the big eyelets on this. So I'll come to there. Make sure they're properly lined up. There we go. And make a hole where we've marked it. Lovely. Lovely, lovely. Now I'm going to set in my the big eyelets, you know, the ones with the wide. You'll see what I mean, these ones, the big ones. I don't have that many of these left, to be honest. I've opted to use the copper colour. You can use any colour you like, or just ordinary eyelets would do. But now you see why it doesn't really matter that that didn't catch. So let's set these. And they look nice. They look in keeping, I would say. Right. So these are We Are Memory Keepers brand eyelets. I do think the We Are Memory Keepers are good. You know, even the normal sized ones, I like them. But they're just a bit expensive. So they are going to go there, a bit like that, with a tie between them. Okay, so the thing that's going in the back is a sort of pocket. It is, well, it's not a sort of pocket, it is a pocket. And for that, I'm going to use this piece. It's got that on the back. And I'm going to get my little scoreboard out. And I'm going to score it on the long side, at 1/2 inch, 4.5. Can't really see where that is. There, I think. 4.5. And then move that across a little bit so it lines up with 1. Yeah, and then 4 inches from the last score mark. So I need to score that at 5, which is there, I think. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. There we go. Lovely, and I just need to cut this last little bit off because we don't need it. There we are, nice remnant to keep. So this 1/2 inch one gets folded in. You can just score it down if you want to. And then it gets folded at the other score line. And you can see, there's your pocket really, pretty much. Lovely. Okay, so that's going to be the back with the seam, as it were, on it. And this is going to be the front. So I want to just take out a thumb notch on there in the centre. So that's the centre there. And I'm going to get my big, I think it's 2 inch. You can use any size. Oh, come on, punches. So open it up because I don't want one on the back, and line that up in the middle of your chopper. There we go, that's fine. That'll do me nicely. Oh, getting it back in the drawer. It's a bit of a jigsaw getting all my punches sorted in that drawer. Right, so now I can ink around it. And I'm just going to use my archival ground espresso again. I think I need a new dauber. This one's kind of giving up the ghost. So I want it, you know, quite heavily inked, really, I suppose. So today, another day of rain, and it's cold. That's not true. It's not cold, but it certainly isn't t-shirt weather. You know, I've got my thick cardigan on and my socks. When I put my socks on, you know it's cold because I do like bare feet. But no, I've had to resort to socks today. So ink around this bit here. And this side. Lovely. And then both sides of this crease. There we go. So that's inked. Oh, I just want a little bit of ink just in behind there. That's fine, just so when you see it, it doesn't look stark. Right, now then, the next thing is I want a stamp on there, and I've got this stamp. I bought it from Ali. I don't know whose stamp it is. I bought this before I realised that all of Ali's stamps were rip-offs. Well, I'm saying all, maybe not all, I don't know, but this one possibly, but I don't know whose it is. And I need a stamp platform of some sort. I'm going to use this rocker plate. It's because it's the only stamp platform I can see that is the right size. So let's put that on there. Is that on securely? It seems to be. And I'm going to get my stamping board. Because this stamp, as with a lot of Ali stamps, it's really difficult to get a good stamp with it. So, just going to open that up. Like that. Ink this up. And hope against hope that it stamps out nicely. I did get it to stamp out okay on the other one, but that was after I'd tried it a few times without the stamping board, just on paper, and it just was not having it. So make sure you've got a good coverage of ink. And here goes, let's hope. So, where do we want to be? That might go over there actually, so I'm going to fold that in. About there. Let's do that. The tension. The tension. I'm just going to rock that back and forwards a little bit. Give it a good press down. Certain parts of it I could live with if they aren't exactly sharp. Other parts I want to look pretty good. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's take it off. Oh, it's lovely. It's really lovely. I love it. Oh, it's gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. Just rub that over. Oh dear, I'm an emotional wreck. I think this goes onto there first. And then this. Slide that back into its packet, because it does work. Works rather nicely actually. There we go. So I'm finished with that. Now the next thing I want to do is, flush with success, is I want to cut out the centre of this circle that you can see here. But I want to leave that butterfly wing and I want to leave this flower. So yeah, I've got my little scissors, but what I'm going to do first off is just cut myself a sort of mark so I've got somewhere for my scissors to go in. There, so I've just cut a cross in the middle of it, like that, so I can get my scissors in. And I'll spare you watching me cut that out because it's going to be a while. So I'm going to cut round all of the inside of that circle. Okay, so I shall be back soon. Right, okay, I've finally cut round that. So there you go, you can see. I've cut round the flower and I've cut round the butterfly. And it all looks very nice. Okay, so the next thing that I want to do is to get myself a found relative photograph. And I've decided to use this one. Well, I didn't decide, it's the only one I've got left. I am waiting for the Amazon man to come and bring me more, but he hasn't arrived fast enough, so I'm going to use this one. It's quite nice anyway, actually, I quite like it. So, I'm just going to draw myself, I think. Get that exactly where I want it. Still want to see the little girl's face. There, and I'm just going to draw around a circle around there. Around the inside of that frame we've made. Let's just check that's come out. I can just see that, which is okay. That's all right. And then I'm going to try a party trick that I actually saw demonstrated by Tony from Crafty with Tony. That is a wonderful channel. If you're into Timmy, I can't recommend her enough. She does wonderful things. She's very inspiring. So, within this circle that we've drawn, I want to distress it. And I'm going to use alcohol inks, which is very rare. You'll see me use alcohol inks. And I haven't got a proper dabber or anything for them. So I'm just going to use these. These are really nice dabbers, but I haven't got anything else. I haven't got any felt or anything, so just use what I've got. And I've got the set. There comes a set of 3, these ones. There's caramel, there's latte, and ginger. Sounds very nice, doesn't it? Nice cup of coffee with caramel and ginger. That would be nice. And I'm going to go, I think, start with the ginger one. And just put some on my little sponge dabber. Don't even know if this is going to work, but let's give it a try. And just come in a little bit round some of the edges, just to age it up a little bit. like that. Right, I like that, but I want it sort of blended out a bit, so I'm sure I've got some blending alcohol somewhere here. Yeah, alcohol blending solution, that'll do nicely. Yikes. And put some of that on my dabber. Don't know if this is how you're supposed to do it, no idea. I'm just going to drag some of that out a little bit because it all looks a little bit, you can see where I've applied it. There we go. Okay, so now I want to go back to the darker colour, which is the ginger. Is that what I started with? Can't remember. I'm going for the ginger anyway. Whether that's what I used before or not, I cannot recall. Whoops. And just little drops of that. Now, because we've got the blending solution on there, it's kind of making its own way, which is great. So just want it to look aged. And that's just taking those lines out, which is marvellous. That's probably all right there, like that. Quite like it. I quite like it. Let's see what we've got when we've put it down where it's going, which is about there. Oh, I don't know. I think I need some more blending solution on this bit up here. Try and get rid of some of those lines. So I'm just taking my time, given that I don't really know what I'm doing. Just trying to learn on the job. Yeah, I think that's all right. Going to end up soon with it all over, which is not what I want. I think that might be okay. It's just because it's got a lot of the alcohol blending solution on. So I'm going to dry that now. It won't take long to dry anyway, but I'm going to dry that and then I'm going to come back in with the caramel. No, it's got a funny smell. Still not quite dry. Whoop. Don't do that. I think I've got a wonky connect. Ooh, I'm going to switch that off because it starts going really red inside when it makes that noise. So, caramel. So I'm still going to have blending solution on here, but not much I can do about that. So a little bit of the caramel. I just want to come in a little bit there. I think this is probably, did I use this last time? I don't know. We're getting that sort of bloom effect because I've got blending solution on there. But that's about as good as I can get. Let's just wipe that up off there. I think I'm going to have to wipe it using blending solution, but that's a problem for another day. Right, I'm kind of happy with that. Kind of. So let's see what it looks like in our frame. Just there. Yeah, it looks all right. Looks okay. I think I have over over-aged it. But it gives that effect. That's fine. Happy with that. Right, so now I can glue my pocket up. Because I'm going to... No, actually, that's not right. I'm going to put that in first. What a silly Billy. That'll be difficult getting that in with it closed. I think about there. Right, which means that I want to cut off a bit off the bottom. So I'm going to make a line across here, but I do need to cut it off shorter than that because of the glue situation along here. Or I suppose I could stick that right down and glue the pocket. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that. So yeah, for a more competent look at how you're supposed to use alcohol ink on photographs, go to Crafty by Tony. She will keep you right. Should have watched it again this morning really before I made this. So I can glue that into there now. Like that. Yeah, that's going to be fine. So I'm going to put some glue all the way around the outside of here. And then around the circle, not too close to the edge, you don't want any splodginess, but round that flower, carrying on around the circle, butterfly wing, right round. If you haven't got this stamp, and no reason why you should, then, you know, die cut a circle in your card. Right, so that wants to go at the bottom, I believe. So let's just put that there and see where we need to move it to. A little bit across this way, about there. Maybe another little bit across to there. Yeah, I think that's right. That's okay at the back. So that's our photograph put into place. Lovely. And if you think that's going to be a problem, just put some washi tape on it. My washi tape is too far away, so I'm just going to say it'll be all right. Probably live to regret it, you know, but... So then let's glue the pocket closed. So right to the end there. Is that where it folds? Yeah, okay. So just bring that across there. Oh, what is wrong with me? I'm not thinking straight today. And down here. Lovely. Fold your 1/2 inch in, fold that up there, and there's our pocket. Lovely. There we go. It's looking nice. Looking nice. Okay, so next we want to... What do we want to do? Just make a card for in there, really. I think that's it. And what I'm going to use is, let's just make sure that's shut, is a piece of cream offcut to make my card. So I'll be back with you. I have to go and get it from somewhere. Right, okay, I've found this remnant of cream card, and it's just about the right fit, really, isn't it? It's perfect. So I'm just pushing that down to where it wants to go, bearing in mind there's glue in the bottom, so it won't go right to the bottom. I'm just going to mark that where I need to cut it flush with the top. Let's just trim that off. so. And then I want to ink around it and stamp on it and all the usual stuff. So, let's ink around it first. I might just put this around the edge and then come in with Vintage Photo, I think, because this is quite stark on this cream card. I'll get a nice dark border and then come in with the Vintage Photo. And get my inky mat out, which is already very inky. I'll try this side. It doesn't look too bad on this side. I'm using the same dabber, so it's going to be quite dark to start with, but just go around the edge a little bit. Because my dabber's old, it's leaving marks. That's all right. We can get over that. So as you can see, this is a fairly straightforward page, really. Couldn't ask for much more straightforward. It's a pocket with a card in it. So I'm just going to come over this middle bit a little bit because, as I say, it's very, very starkly cream. So that, I might just put a bit more around the edge. There we go. Happy with that now. Lovely. And then I'm just going to spritz it and pick up any, that'll do, any water I can lift in sort of droplets. So I know that my spritzer, if I press it really gently, I just get drops out of it, and that's what I'm after, really. There we go, leave that a minute to work its magic. Work your magic. Once you begin to really be able to see the outside of the lines of the drops, you're probably about there, to be honest. So let's pick that up. We can always do it again if it's not enough. There we go. Yeah, I like that. That's fine. See all the big droplets on it? Looks nice. Excellent, that worked. So now we just need to stamp that up. So I'll get my piece of stamping board. It was twice the size, but I could never fit it on my desk because I spend all my time working on such a small area that I had to ask Mr. F to just chop it in half for me. So now it's much more manageable. So I'm going to get my rusty hinge. I'm not sure if I've got it in oxide or ink. Either way, it doesn't matter. Oh, I think that's it there. Yep, rusty hinge in the ink, that's fine. And I would not ordinarily, as you know, stamp with distress. But on this occasion, I really want that colour and I don't have it in an archival. I don't even know if they do it in an archival. So I'm just going to fill that up basically with stuff, with stamps. That's quite a nice one. Itinerary. I don't know. I quite like the flower as well, actually. That would look nice. However, let's see. Let's see what we got. Got that one with the numbers on, I like that. Oh, none of these are going to stick because look at them, they're absolutely filthy. Dirty stamps. So I'm going to do that in the rusty hinge and see what happens. I haven't tried this before, this particular part of it, so it'll be an experiment. So I'm going to put it down the side, I think. Okay, I'm going to put it that side and maybe one along the top as well. So it needs to go that way, yes. Got it the wrong way round, doesn't matter. Okay, that works well with the rusty hinge, doesn't it? I like it. So what else have we got that we can use? Well, anything in here. Where's the big field label? That's the specimen. That's the collector, all of which I like. Just trying to find the big, there it is, field label. Really do need to wash these stamps. They're getting a bit beyond it. So I'm not quite sure actually where I'm going to put this, but it'll fit somewhere. And I'm going still with the rusty hinge, but I probably don't want too many more in rusty hinge. I want the rusty hinge ones to stand out, and they won't stand out if I do the whole thing in rusty hinge. So let's put that, get it the right way, and put that about there, and hope it's square. Whoops, that's fine. That's okay. Right, so now I've got specimen. I can put the rusty hinge away. I'm definitely done with it. So now I can bring out the archival in the ground espresso, and I'm going to use the specimen one. Let's put some glue stick on the collect. Oh, they're both specimen. That's not what I meant to do. There's another one, isn't there, that's collector, but I don't know where it is. There's that 785. That's got to go in there somewhere because I love that one. So I just want to say hi to Ryan if you're watching. Hi to your mum and dad. I hope you're watching. No, I'm going to put that in the corner actually. Otherwise it's going to end up square with that, which is not what I wanted. Perfect. Lovely. Lovely. Okay, I'm probably finished with that. So let's put this 785 on because I really like it. I think it's... I'm going to put it there actually. Perfect. I love that stamp. It's gorgeous. I'm going to stamp it again, just for the heck of it. So already that's pushing the rusty hinge back a little bit, which is good. I've got identification check. I've got all sorts. I've got loads of stuff. I've got that there. Steer clear of the numbers if I can for a little while. That's numbers as well. Here's baggage check. Let's do that. Baggage check room. It's got nothing to do with anything, but it's okay. fine. I don't need it, you know, too heavily stamped. Oh, there's a stamp. That could go there. Let's do that. Lovely. And anything else? Anything else? Well, I've got these, which I could actually do in red. That would be quite nice in red. So I'm going to put that little one just kind of there. And I can use that again, just up here. Coming along nicely, and I want that in red there, and maybe also, will it fit there? Well, it would fit there. Yeah, so something else here. I've got a name of remitter. I think that would be all right. Like I say, I'm not trying to make it ultra dense. Yeah, it looks like it still needs something underneath it though. Name of remitter, and then I've got workshop 220. That's going to eat into this part. But I don't think I've got much else. Reserved. Perfect. Perfect. That's okay, it's on an angle, but can live with that. Right, let's try those two red labels. I'm using Archival Carnation Red. Let's put this here. Perfect. That's perfect. And then this one here. Wow, lovely. Lovely, lovely. And I could possibly do with something there. No, can't work out how to do that, it's too complicated. I just want a little stamp. They're probably all at the bottom, aren't they, the little ones, all falling through. I'm going to put this on and just do the part of it that says number, N-O. No! So yeah, it's just, let's put the red away, finish with the red. Back to the archival, and I just want the bit that says no, not the numbers. Just pop that there. Lovely, that is, I'm happy with that, that's great. So let's put the stamps away, the stamping platform, and my ink, and there we have a really, really gorgeous tag to go in our card. Now what I want to do at the top of this is get my box of bits, my box of orange bits to be more precise. and this is the one I'm looking for, and I'm going to put that on there. I'm going to get a little Timmy peep, one of the mini peeps. I've looked some out that I thought would fit the bill. So I've got this little guy who's very cute. I have this little guy who's also cute. He could go on there. And then I have this couple that I also like. Let's just check that they all fit in. So the card goes in like so, and then we're going to just glue this along there where you can see it there. Where's our page gone? Here it is. That's going to come down to about there. Just checking there's room for these peeps up here. Yeah, there's plenty room. Plenty room. That's great. So I'm going to use these. I'm going to use these two. But what I also want are some leaves. And I don't know where my leaves are. I do have these ones here on this rose. So I think I'm going to nick those actually, because they're just about the right size for what I want. So let's cut them off. This is the thing about these die cuts, you know, never be discouraged from cutting them up. Because they might work perfectly for you. I'm just going to take some of that white off, it's a bit too much. Yeah, it's just a bit too much margin around here for my liking. I want to leave a little bit, but I think the cutter needs to be recalibrated to me. I don't think I need that stem either, so I'm going to chop it off as well. Right, so there we are. I've just got my 3 leaves that I'm just going to pop underneath there, kind of like that. So that's what we're aiming for. So let's ink around here. So there's this sort of pseudo pull, if you like. It's just attached to the top of the journaling card. I just have not got enough ink on there, and no amount of trying to stretch it's going to work. There we go, that's fine. So I want to stick this down there. So I think the best thing to do probably is just mark where I want that to come to there and to there. Take my card out, pop some glue on that bit that we've just marked. Just a little bit, you don't want it to spread too much, like so. Pop that down there. Maybe a little bit above the card actually would be better, like that. Don't know if that's going to stick now. Made a bit of a mess of the back, but what you gonna do? There we go. Right, so next thing I want to do is kind of put these on, but then one depends on the other somewhat. So they are going to go there. And then these leaves. So I'll stick the leaves on next. I'm not going to ink around them because I don't like that look. And they're kind of glossy anyway. I could do it with the archival. Oh, I've put too much glue on there. That's because I'm chitter-chattering. So that's going to go up there like that. And then I need to get rid of that glue on the back. So I'm going to stick down all the bits that I need to stick down. And just wipe that glue away. It does dry very quickly, so we're kind of all right. I think we're okay there, it's dried. Right, so now these two. And we're progressing really well. There's not that much more to do. A little bit, but not much. I've put glue on the top of these as well. What's wrong with me? I'm not concentrating today. Not concentrating. So wipe it off the heads because they're going to be floating free, and pop them on there just like that. Don't stick the feet down to the card either. Oh my goodness, I don't know what I'm on today. Not enough, obviously. There we go. So, finally we got there. So all this section here is free. And that should fit in our pocket really nicely as a topper for this. So come here, let's have a look at you. So that slides in, you just tilt that back, put that in all the way, and it almost, you'll get a little bit at the top that's sticking up, that's fine. And you've got these guys at the top, and that's going to fit on our page like so, and look really nice, I think. So I wonder if we should just come in a little bit. Shall I try and move you in? Oh, famous last words, here comes Mr. F. Du, 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 du. Don't do it, Miss P. Lovely, thanks, Mr. F. Marvellous.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Okay, so next thing is, once these are stuck in place, which they will be shortly, there is nothing to stop this coming sailing through. So I'm going to put a stop on the page, and for that I'm going to use one of these words things. I can't remember what they're called now. But you know the ones I mean, the thick chipboard. Make a wish, that's a nice one, isn't it? Enjoy the journey. There's loads. I think I've got every one at least once. And they're not things that I use a lot, to be fair. Focus on the good. Choose to shine. I like that one. Original. Notes. Take the scenic route. Stay curious. There's loads. Lucky is a state of mind. Find joy in the ordinary. That's quite nice. A bit long. Stay curious. It's loads. In my heart. I quite like in my heart. In my heart. Let's have that one. Some of these I bought the original set. Then Mr. F bought a job lot of assorted Timmy stuff, and there was almost a full set again. And then he bought some more, and there was almost a full set again. So I have got rather a surfeit of these. And as I say, I don't really use them that often, but here's one going anyway, so that's good. They're a bit too thick for most jobs, aren't they? But here in this file folder, we've got plenty room for thickness. The pages can be really quite thick if we want them to be. There we go. That's them away. Right. So, before I stick it on, I actually want to... let's just cut a bit of this off. There we go. So I'm going to use my dabber, put some embossing fluid, I suppose it is, on there, and then I'm going to use rusty hinge over the top. So let's get that open and ready for action. And dab this. Do round the edges as well, otherwise you end up with... Now I don't mind if this isn't perfect. I quite like it when it doesn't look perfect. So what I'm going to do is put the dauber everywhere, I think, and then once I've got the rusty hinge on, I can knock bits off if I want. Okay, so that's kind of pretty much everywhere. I'm just going to take my tweezers or something like that and just make some sort of marks in it, just so it's not all over the place. Looks a bit scratched. There we go. I think that's all right. Have I done too much now? It's possible. Yeah, I think that's all right. I'm just going to take that away from there. Yeah, let's do that and see what we've got. Hope my heat gun's behaving, because it had gone. Yeah. Very hard to see this embossing glaze from Tim when it's actually gone. That's it, it's going now. That's it, I think. Let's have a look. Oops, see what we think. Yeah, I think that's fine. So let's put all the embossing gear away. Before I spill it everywhere. So that's rusty hinge embossing glaze. Okay. So right, what happens now is we need to stick these on. So select where you want them to go. I think over those 2 holes and under the 3rd hole. I think that would be good. Before I do that, I'm going to get some twine. It's much easier. Much easier to put the twine in before you glue them on. So I discovered last night. There we go. just pass it through from the back to the front. Lovely. And let's get these glued in place. So I'm going to use a fair bit of glue because this is all that's holding these on. So that's where I want that to be. Lovely. I've got a bit of seepage there, but that's to be expected. And then I'm going to get my Timmy ruler just to make sure these two absolutely line up. And that is, where are we? 7/8, is that? Yeah, 7/8 from the bottom. So I'm going to put some glue on this one. And stick that down so it's straight. Just butt it up to that ruler and to the edge of the page. And there we have it. Give it a good press. So that's those in place. And that can get tied at some stage. And that's going to go in there. I don't really want to force it in yet till that glue's dry. But this stop is going to go at the bottom here, like that. Just to stop this coming straight through. So just glue that. Oh, and then drop it. So you want that halfway, which is about there, I think. Just a little bit off the bottom. Just check that your peeps aren't going to be sticking out the top. No, we're fine. Got glue on there, which I didn't intend to have, but right. So I think yeah, I think that's it. And I do like that not being completely covered. You could go in with crayon if you wanted, a ground espresso or even a vintage photo and darken that down, but I like it like that. Looks good to me. So let's just pop that in there like that. That works perfectly as a stop there. Tie our bow. Quite tightly if you can manage it. It's always a bit of a trial for me. There we go. Lovely. Lovely, lovely. Don't want the bow too big. There we are. So I'm just going to trim that end off about there. And then I'm going to just get some glue in my fingers because all twine unravels itself back into its two basic strands, and I don't want that, so I'm just going to rub some glue on the end of it just to keep it wrapped. Just on both ends. There we go. So that's our page. Oh no, I need just something there, don't I? A word on that, the bit that sticks out. So let's see. Whoops. Let's see the words I've got. I've got notes. Let's use notes. Notes will do fine. Quite small, but it will do adequately. And I want that on cream. There's a little bit of cream. Perfect for the job. Go on, get on your back. There we are. And I'm just going to stamp it in the archival ground espresso. Stamp it out onto here. Where's it gone? Perfect. Let's put that away because that is the sort of one that would very readily get lost. There we go. So let's just, before we cut that, just ink it. It's going to be easier to ink as a larger piece, I think. Fine. And cut it out. I'm going to use my really big scissors for this, which will give me some chance of getting it straight, I think. Not too bad. Seen worse, but I've also seen better. So I can just pop that onto there. Yes. And this is our very last act for this one. Fiddly little label. Yeah, I think that's fine. And that's fine there. And then all we need to do, I just told you that's the last act, and then one more thing, is just punch through these holes. So as when we come to do the other side, we can see where they are. So make sure that your pocket is well away from the holes, and we're just going to punch those in. Using the Kraft dividers as our gauge. I think that's all right. Come out. And let's put it in our file and see what it looks like. So it's a bit of a simpler page than the others, but there's still quite a lot in it. Quite a lot of work to do. So let's hope that they are in the right place. Yep, lovely. So there we go. There's our envelope, our pocket, and it's got this tag top at the top to pull the tag out. Really nice tag. Love that one. And the peeps at the top with the leaves. Could have something botanical. Wouldn't be my page without something flowery or leafy. That just sits back into there like that. So there we have it. There's our page. I hope you like it. There's loads of things that you could do to this page if you wanted to. For example, let's have a look and see. I did toy with the idea of using these collage strips, the ones in sort of orangey colour, and sticking them down onto the back sheet just to make that more interesting. So just put these all the way down behind there. So you would have that in the background. If you like, you know, that kind of like that. but I actually preferred it in its simpler form. But that's just one thing that you could perhaps think about if you think it's a little bit plain for your tastes. You could do that. But there's plenty things that you could do. Personally, myself, I just love it like this. There we have it. So, there we are. That's page 3. Let's hope I get round to page 4 before another fortnight disappears. I like that, actually. Looking at it there now as I can see it, I do really like it. So, good luck with it. Show us on the group, the Miss Paint-A-Lot Junk Journal group, when you've done. I'm dying to see what you make out of this page. I do like this device that ties, etc, etc. So, yeah, thanks for joining me. It's turned out to be a bit longer than I thought it would be, but, you know, doesn't it always? See you soon. Take care, guys. Bye.